بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to the Sunday broadcasts by the Lahore Ahmadiyya community. We took a break during December and we are now resuming our broadcast. This broadcast brings to you the conclusions of a friend who is not a member of our Jamaat. He has studied the books of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, and he has looked at the beliefs of what is called the Qadiani Jamaat, the people to whom he refers as Mahmudis, and the Lahori Jamaat. I just want to remind friends that when a split took place in the Ahmadiyya community, one group elected Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ali Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh as its Amir and established their headquarters in Lahore. The other group was headed by a gentleman called Mirza Bashiruddin Mahmud Ahmad. And our friend refers to our organization or the Lahore Ahmadiyya community as Lahoris, and the other organization as Mahmudis. So Mahmudis and Qadianis are the same. Now, first he puts the beliefs and views of the two organizations, summarizes them in his words, and then he comments on the views of the two groups in the light of the statements of Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib Rahmatullah Alayh. So let me show you what he has to say. He says, the subheading is Lahori stand or Lahori beliefs. The founder of Ahmadiyya, Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib, called his prophethood to be a reflection, a metaphor, and that of a follower. And he said that I claim that I am Nabi and Rasul, and about it, the Lahori Jamaat, or the Lahore Ahmadiyya community, in my words, believe that because this is a reflection, this is a metaphor, then for this reason, it is not real prophethood. And according to the Sharia, such prophethood has been granted to the saints, awliya, friends of Allah, to saints. And this prophethood simply means communication with God. And according to Lahoris, this is not real prophethood, simply the use of the word prophet. And the real claim, the real position of the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement is no more than that of a mujaddid or wali. Mujaddid meaning religious reformer, wali meaning a saint. So, it is not a person's duty to believe in the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement. And they should support him to the extent that it is necessary to support a wali, a saint, and a mujaddid, a religious reformer. Then our friend talks about the stand of the Qadiani Jamaat, to whom he refers as Mahmudi stand. Whereas Mahmudi sect, which is generally known as the Qadiani sect, they believe that the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement has written metaphorically and reflective and follower prophet. But this means prophethood without the law. Thus, it is prophethood. It is prophethood, just like the prophethood of the earlier prophets. And it is a characteristic of prophethood that the prophet speaks to Allah. And this was found in the earlier prophets. That was why they were prophets, and this is why the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement is a prophet. Founder of the Ahmadiyya movement, in the prophethood of the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement and the prophethood of earlier prophets, there is no difference. It is real, but without a Sharia, without a law. Thus, to believe in the prophethood of Mirza Sahib is a duty, in the same way as it is a duty to believe in the prophethood of the other prophet. This gentleman then goes on to say comments or commentary. And his comments are these. The founder of the Ahmadiyya movement did not just say that it was metaphorical prophethood, but he said he is metaphorically Muhammad as well. And he said that both these claims have been put forward as a follower of the Holy Prophet. That is why he frequently said, I am not simply a prophet, I am a follower as well. This shows that Mirza Sahib's claim was that of Ummati Baruzi Nabi, was of a follower who is metaphorically a prophet, or a follower who's metaphorically Muhammad. Now, if a metaphorical prophet really is a prophet, then being Muhammad metaphorically, and Allah forgive us for saying so, then being Muhammad metaphorically means that he was claiming to be Muhammad in reality. And members of the Mahmudi sect are not prepared to accept this, that the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement was in reality Prophet Muhammad. Thus, if by being a metaphorical or reflective or reflection of Muhammad, he did not become real Muhammad, then by becoming a reflection of a prophet did not make him a real prophet. Thus, under this fundamental principle, if the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement had said that he really is a prophet, then this would consider to be an error of judgment. For he has himself established the principle that his person is not outside being a reflection or a metaphor. The Mahmudi sect accepts that the founder of the movement in the beginning, the arguments and revelations upon which he called himself a muhaddis rather than a prophet, then after 1901, on the basis of the same arguments and revelation, he started calling himself a prophet or a nabi. Thus, the Mahmudi sect, according to the Mahmudi sect, it was an error of judgment. It was a mistake that he considered himself to be a muhaddis, a non-prophet to whom God speaks. Although he was actually a prophet. So this was an error of judgment, according to Mahmudis. But on the other hand, I believe that the fact that he considered himself to be a non-prophet spoken to by God was not a mistake, but it was correct. So this shows that Qadianis believe that Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad made a mistake. And Qadianis say that it was to correct his mistake that he wrote this pamphlet or booklet called Ek Galti Ka Azar. In the same way, Lahori Firqa has explained why it was that founder of the Ahmadiyya movement called his deniers kafir and destined to hell. The answer is that because the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement was a saint, a wali, and mujaddid, a religious reformer, then the denial by a person of a wali and mujaddid does not take that person, that does not make that person a kafir or a heretic or destined to hell. Because to call their opponents, their distractors, heretics, and destined to hell was in the same sense that having found a saint and a religious reformer and listened to his arguments, then to oppose him, then to oppose him with immoral, in an immoral way, makes a person a kind of a heretic and destined to hell. In the Hadith Qudsi, this is most reliable saying of the Holy Prophet Muhammad. Allah says that a person who is an enemy of my wali, my friend, I declare war on that person. This is in Sahih Bukhari. Thus, when God declares war on an enemy of his friend or his wali, will such a person not be a heretic and go to hell? In the same way, the appearance of a mujaddid is proven from hadith. And the person who, having seen that, having found that mujaddid, that religious reformer, enters into unlawful opposition to him, is he not opposing the hadith of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, command of the Holy Prophet Muhammad? And certainly a person who opposes the command of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, even one command of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, then he will, according to Quran and Hadith, be destined to hell. In the same way, founder of the Ahmadiyya movement claimed to be a reflection or a metaphor, in a metaphorical way, Masih and Mahdi. Then the Hadith says, when you find Mahdi, enter into an oath of allegiance with him. Now, the person who finds Mahdi and enters into unlawful, immoral opposition to him, he too, to some extent, deserves hell. And such opponents cannot be called good Muslims who reject the command of the Holy Prophet. That is why the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement said that he who denies me is not a Muslim. And this applied only to those opponents who were present during the lifetime of the Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. For when he died, then you could not enter into his oath of allegiance, or believe in him, as neither was it incumbent upon you to believe in him. For you can only adopt the company of a reformer during his lifetime. In the same way, the arguments from among the arguments used by the Lahori group is that the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that in hell the majority will be of women. And the reason for that is that they disobey their husband. This hadith says that it is heretical to deny even one command of the Quran and makes a person deserving of hell. Obedience to the husband is a duty of a wife according to the Quran and Hadith. In the same way, to support a mujaddid and wali is proven by Quran and Hadith. Whereas Mahmudi sect believes that the founder was a real and actual prophet. Thus, those who deny the founder of the Ahmadi movement, they're kafirs in the same way that the denial of any prophet makes a person a heretic or destined to hell. And that is why, according to Mahmudi sect, all those who deny the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement are actual heretics. They're heretics in the same way as the deniers of the Holy Prophet Muhammad are heretics. Whereas members of the Lahore sect, they do not say that after the death of the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement, they do not say anyone is a heretic or destined to hell. And they say that this applies only to those who unlawfully opposed the founder of the Ahmadiyya movement during his lifetime and not afterwards. I want to add two things here, and that is that one day before he died, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad was asked whether those who rejected his claims are heretics. And this was published in the newspapers at the time, and this is in Malfuzat. That he was put a straight question: what remains of Islam if only members of your Jamaat are Muslims? And Hazrat Sahib clearly said that even in his lifetime, he did not declare that those who rejected his claim were heretics. He went on to add that the Holy Prophet Muhammad said that if a reciter of the kalima is called a heretic by another reciter of the kalima, then it is the reciter who becomes a heretic. He said this the day before he died. So, his stand that he made clear the day before he died was that no one becomes a heretic by simply denying his claim. But the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that it is such a serious matter to call a reciter of the kalima a heretic, that the caller himself goes out of the fold of Islam. That is the only reason, he says, that I say that these people are heretics. And the petitioner, the person asking the question, said, well, they might call you kafirs, but you should refrain from doing so. And Hazrat Sahib said, you cannot force me to abandon the law of Islam. Hazrat Sahib also put an alternative. He said, okay, let all the non-Ahmadi Maulvis declare that this hadith is wrong. Let all the non-Ahmadi Maulvis declare that this hadith is wrong. That if a Muslim calls another Muslim a kafir, it is the caller who's the kafir. Then blame me if I say to these people that they are kafirs. We are talking about the day before he passed away. He made these comments. So I slightly agree. I slightly disagree with our friend. And I say that Hazrat Sahib, even in his lifetime, did not say that those who simply deny his claim are heretics. The other thing I want to add is that we believe it is for God to decide who's good and who's bad and who's a Muslim and who's not a Muslim, who's at fault and who's not at fault, and so on. He has not entitled us. He has not entitled any human being to make these decisions. It is very simple. A man walks up to you, extends his hand, and says, Assalamu alaikum. According to the Quran, you are to regard him as a Muslim. That's it. Nothing further is needed. Everything else is in God's hands. That was why Hazrat Sahib said, do not pray with those who call others kafirs. Establish a principle and stand on that principle. He did not say, don't pray with them because they don't believe me, be the Mujaddid of the 14th century or the promised Messiah or Matthew. He said, don't pray with them because they say that a reciter of the kalima is a heretic. And this is a very important principle on which we should stand. And that doesn't just apply to Ahmadis or Lahori Ahmadis. If a Sunni calls a Shia a kafir, according to the Holy Prophet, you're forbidden to pray behind that Shia. That's Sunni. If a Shia calls a Sunni a kafir, according to the Holy Prophet, you're forbidden to pray behind that Shia. If a Qadiani says that all those who haven't taken their Khalifa's bath are kafir and heretics, you're forbidden to pray behind them. The point is not about which sect anyone belongs to. The point is about the violation of this principle established by the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This brings us to the end of today's broadcast. Inshallah, we'll meet again next Sunday. I want to remind you that our broadcasts, Tadabburul Quran, reflections on the Holy Quran, have resumed. They are on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, at 7 p.m. in Urdu and 7:30 p.m. in English. And then, of course, in addition, we have our normal Friday service, which has continued, and then we have resumed our Sunday morning broadcast. With the prayer that whoever you are, wherever you may be, may Allah keep you all safe and sound and free from harm. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz, goodbye.